unipkaarotiarsigikpin taalaqanilaqannasuk unipkaartuaq qaaviuraqama niveaqsiaqarualugguuq iñuuniaqanersuq angayoqaagamani sumitaimma niveaqsiaqarualuk anguniallatuneqsaq aasiisulaqallavluni supayaanik iñuuniaqotik anuqqautigaiti anuqulingaallaaqsuq anuqulingaallaaqpaalluni kisaimma panernialiaqsivut niviaqsiaqarualuk kisaimma isummeqpoq tavraasi kangitsaquaqsigaassumman anuqlisugurukumagaan summan anuqulingaallaaqamagaan tavraasi kangitsaquaqsigaassumman anuqlisugurukumagaan anuquliqpaalluni suniuraqanaitsoqunni tavrani viaqsiaqarualuk ayuungitsoq payyagniuliqsoq toqutaavayaqtoq kisimeriorumi arraannapqangapiaqtoq
When I was growing up, My grandpa had a pet white fox. If you're a good friend with a fox, when there's danger abound, they try to keep you from getting into trouble. They pull tricks here and there, and foxes are like spoiled little kids in a way. When you let her out, she'd go prancing out in the snow, jumping in the air. I know she was happy then. Come running at me and jump on my chest, knock me backwards, lick my face, and I try not to let her. So that was my memory of my grandpa's pet fox.
Niveaksiagalualuk kangersingalok supaya ikayok takakaliblikit. Allawlo ni taam natat niveaksiagalualuk kangersingalok supaya ikayok takakaliblikit. Allawlo ni taam nateriganniaq sivuniqsipkangaga niveaksiagalualuk qanutut peqpaganaqtilaangit tamatkua ikayok tauruat.
Caribou it provided for us in many ways.
Our clothing in those days was made of all caribou skin.
I grew up wearing caribou pants, mittens, caribou skin mattress, blankets.
Some people had boots that were made with wolf leggings, sealskin sole bottoms. Baleen was shaved to make insoles. They kept us quite dry and warm as well. But the caribou skin clothing was the best. We would get as many yearlings as we could for our outer clothing. And for a heavy winter, we would get caribou in February or March because the hair was the longest and the skin was the thickest, and we would use those for our winter gear. With that stuff on, you could sleep outside in 50 below and it wouldn't bother you a bit.
Sila is the weather. It also means the atmosphere. Here's the nuna, or the land. And it's anything from the land into the moon, the sun, the stars. That's Sila.
It's a very spiritual, and we have a relationship with Sila. Sila has a soul in the same way we do as people, in the same way animals do.
I think spirit helpers in and of themselves are really about how we're connected with things. And so it may be that there is a spirit helper that shows themselves as a bird to show you the way home, or it may be a spirit helper that actually decides to show themselves with the face and body of a man instead of their animal form. And so I think one of the things that's hard to understand is that it's not one way of seeing things, it's one way of knowing you're connected to everything.
We've always had that spirituality of everything around us.
It's the interaction you have with the air you breathe, the ocean that you gather resources from, the rivers from which you gather fish, the tundra from which you pick berries, the animals that give themselves. It's all of that.
Niveaksiaqalualugulu teriganniaqalu ikayuuti piaqtuk. Siqaqaniutimigani. Araa kangeqsinaitsuqunni qanuq pisilaanga. Aglaan tavra atautsikun aingaluk.
In the winter, when we were traveling, we didn't build sod houses, we built snow houses. In Canada, they call them igloo, but here in Alaska, we call them apuyak. We'd do a day of travel, and then we'd make a apuyak. The next day, my father would set traps, spend the day there, rest the dogs, give them something to eat, and then the following day, we continued to the next place. We'd go to my dad's sister, who had a house at Dubai. They had a small sod house over there. We didn't have to do anything. We just visit with them, and my dad and my sister were glad to see each other, and they'd talk away while us kids played outside or go to sleep. By the time we get back to our home, my father would leave us with our aunt or with my grandmother, and then he'd start on his trips and go check his trap line. We were not into 8 to 5 kind of time, you know. We're in a total different kind. We're in ecological time.
It'd be busy, busy, busy all through the day. You get up and you just go right to work, you know, right to work.
There was always something to do. There was never any idle time. The only idle time we had was after we eat and before we go to bed.
One of the older people would just be relaxing, laying down there and saying, you know, it'd be really nice to hear a story. And then just organically, someone would just start telling a story.
Storytelling for the Nupiaq people is very important because it not only created that sense of community, but is a way to pass on wisdom to the next generation.
It was like TV, you know? It was just like, it was as good as anything, any movie you've ever seen. And the storyteller told it so clearly that it was just as powerful as any of the greatest movie blockbusters you've ever seen.
There was a reason behind the stories that we were told because they held traditional knowledge. They held things that we might need to know in life, whether it was about how to find food or how to survive, or it was about well-being and the importance of connecting with people and being a good member of the community.
We all do stories. We all live in stories. We all tell stories to our friends. And they need to be told. They need to be heard.
So scrimshaw is this really beautiful method of art that's done either on baleen or ivory, and traditionally it was used to tell stories.
Each etching is telling a story of some event. Caribou hunting was taking place. This is what was going on. War began around this time, and so it sort of gives you a timeline of history through etching.
An elder or the person who carved it would literally be able to read the scrimshaw story.
They're like reading a book, in a way.
A lot of the storytelling traditions would be things that after the storytelling was done, we'd just rely on the next person telling it. And so scrimshaw is a very important way for Alaskan Native people to record their history.
Iverksiarluollu tikitka aimarvini. Agalaan maluunaqsingamalaq. Innuquluq tikinngamaluq iverksiarluollu piingaan. Ivaqaleqsimaluq sumittaimma. Nikatjakkumañainniqsuq. Paqitqaangaarnagu ivaqtani. Nunaaqqiq ikiwaqtuaqaniqsuq. Inyungi toquttaqtauganiqsit. Niverksiarluollu upperingitka tautuktani. Tautugunaqtuaq sunapayaaq siquminganeqsuq. Niverksiarluollu iyuliaqatingi pisaullaganeqsut. Qanuqimña anuquleqpallqiñam tainnaqumiñaitka. Tamaanga ikumauaqtuamin qaqraaqpam iñua niptaqtoq. Sumaalagullaqami niverksiarluollu piitsiningani. Agalaan qaqraaqpallqiñat sagavingaitsut. Immiñaurat sagaveqimiut tasamanga nunamin. Pakagahuting nunaaqqimin. Kaikuen tutien. Ukallaktok inyugungaruak uppik. Kanakuma ilisimanek panga. Isumullaktok ni beaksiagarualok. Kanok kita pura kaunugingagikpen. Kilautika piupko. Ikayokoniakalorikpen kimon dahil nanakek. Sa bakit ilanga.
Drum is something that's common to all cultures in Alaska. All cultures have a drum that may have some stylistic differences or differences in the materials that it's made, but it's still a recognition of life and vitality. And the drum mirrors the heartbeat. And when you continue drumming soon, it will be in line with your heartbeat, because that's what it's supposed to be, the heartbeat of the community, and it symbolizes vitality. And it's the most tremendous feeling to be in a room and to have one long row of all the drummers and to have that feeling of unity and everyone beating in harmony, the drum beat in unison. It's the most beautiful feeling. And to know that you're connected, you're on the land that you are connected to. And even if you grew up outside of the community, that which is in you comes from this area. And it's the greatest feeling.
Man, I went at it and look what happens. Oh.
They're just like other people. They just happen to be very small and extremely strong.
These are stories that are common throughout Alaska. And it's normally the people are in the size from your elbow to the tips of your fingers, and they possess superhuman strength. So they may be tiny, but they can carry a whole caribou.
And if you go up north and you talk to a number of the people in the community, they'll talk about having seen the little people.
There's a place at home that we know, but we don't profess it to anybody.
But it's not like the boogeyman.
They can be mischievous, they can be ornery, or they can be helpers.
And every now and then, we might have the opportunity to see them, especially if they want us to see them.
The fact that it's across Alaska really tells you something about our history and how we interacted with nature around us.
Khila rock to the versi road. Asi anipilitin suna idukto sa guru magan. Ibeaksiarolo sabatukumi ahlawit immenyaurat pakit ka upir kayaw dinga. Ibeaksiagarolok utingarok kilaw delegahone. Ukpik ko bea chapalugarok. Asi tabura pibi tagaliw di bea lagaga ibeaksiagarolok. Tay nahone ay chudi hirakangarok. Ukpik ukalaktok. Uvaw na kao nagingagiga. Iliginun pikit kovlugo.
The bola is what we call kilometone. And the kilometone is made out of braided sinew tied onto some heavy bone which you could twirl. In my case, we're catching ducks.
When we're out whaling, sometimes the ducks start flying. And they're good for duck hunting. You know, if you're a whaling crew, you can't make too much noise. So you can't use a shotgun for getting some duck soup handy, you know. So bolo was a really handy weapon to use for catching ducks. You know, the ducks fly in, you throw it up and tangles up the bird, and down they go. Tavratainna igilehutik. Nibeaksiarualum atoqa uppium aichuta. Sillä taane nunaqqimata innuqulukkassuaak. Innuquluum tautukamium nutqaqqugaa. Agalaanniviaqsiaqarualuk saperinaqsima.